Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I am Tom.
It's our TOEIC unit, and we're talking about something that's fun, and that's hiking. Getting out there into nature and enjoying everything, and doing so on a big mountain where you have to hike up and then hike down. Hiking down the mountain's not easy either. You know, it uses different muscles. In fact, I remember hiking up and down mountains, and I thought, I think I'd rather go up sometimes than down. So they're both kind of difficult. You have to get yourself into shape. Day one, we talked about a customer who visited a hiking gear store and bought a lot of equipment to get ready to go for the first time on a big hike. And the clerk there had a lot of experience and had some good advice for the guy that was buying hiking gear. And so today, we're going to actually talk about a particular area in Taiwan. I had never heard of this place before. It sounds lovely. Jiaming Lake. And we're going to talk about a hike that you can take and how it's set up, how there's a guide attached to it, and some other really fun information.
Right, so this is kind of a travel package provided by a travel agency or something like that. So you might participate, pay a fee, and they'll take care of all these things for you. So they're hiking to Jiaming Lake, and it's the tier of an angel hike. Interesting. Angels sometimes can cry. So I guess there's a tear up there. That's what this probably means in Chinese. I'm not quite sure. I haven't translated it yet. But in any case, I think most of you will probably know what this is all about. But we are going to listen to it first, and then we'll break it down for you and talk about the article in detail.
Jiaming Lake, often called the Tear of an Angel, is a stunning alpine lake surrounded by breathtaking landscapes. This 3-day, 2-night hiking adventure offers you a chance to explore its natural beauty while experiencing the challenge of high-altitude trekking. Day 1, 7 a.m. Depart from Chishang Station. 9 a.m. Begin hiking. 12 p.m. Arrive at Xiangyang Hut for lunch. 5 p.m. Arrive at the shelter for dinner and an overnight stay. Day 2. 5 a.m. Wake up and have breakfast. 6 a.m. Begin the ascent to Jiaming Lake. 9:30 a.m. Arrive at Jiaming Lake. 5 p.m. Return to the shelter. Day 3. 7 a.m. Depart from the shelter. Approximately 11 a.m., disband at Chishang Station. Important notes. Safety first. Always prioritize safety. Listen to your guide. Be aware of your surroundings and inform your guide immediately if you feel unwell. Flexible itinerary. Due to weather conditions, trail conditions, or individual fitness levels, the itinerary may change. Please be prepared for adjustments and follow your guide's instructions. Physical fitness. Participants must be in good physical health. Conditions like heart disease, fear of heights, or pregnancy may prevent you from participating. Punctuality. Please arrive at the designated meeting point on time. Late arrivals may result in being unable to join the trip. Personal responsibility. If you are unable to continue the hike due to personal reasons, you must stop. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, we are unable to issue a refund for the remaining portion of the trip.
Okay, everybody, let's break it down and talk about our article today in detail. We're going to Jiaming Lake. And it's also described as the Tear of an Angel hike, okay? And Jiaming Lake, often called the Tear of an Angel, is a stunning alpine lake surrounded by breathtaking landscapes. So I suspect that this lake kind of looks like the tear of an angel if you look at it and you use your imagination, or at least maybe somebody in the past thought, my goodness, my golly, this lake looks like the tear of an angel. And then the name just stuck.
Kind of cool. I like the name of it. It would make you feel safer if you thought you were around some sort of angel as you were doing this hike. So that's its kind of a nickname, you could say. And it's stunning. It's so beautiful that you kind of, when you see it, your jaw drops. Wow, it's gorgeous. Alpine is a type of forest, a type of forestry and trees. When I see alpine, I always think of beautiful mountains that are very, very high, like the Alps over there in Europe, which are very, very high. They often do downhill skiing on alpine slopes, or in the Alps as well. They do a lot of downhill skiing there. So it's a stunning alpine lake, meaning it's very lofty, it's very high, surrounded by breathtaking landscapes. It sounds gorgeous, but only the real, true hikers who have the will ever get to see this place because it's not easy to get to. There's no bus that goes there. There's not a train. You've got to do some serious hiking.
Exactly. So you probably go to the trailhead at some point. Maybe they take you there in a bus or something like that. And then you're on your own. And let's describe this particular travel package. It says this 3-day, 2-night hiking adventure offers you a chance to explore its natural beauty while experiencing the challenge of high-altitude trekking. Okay, so this tells us what this travel package is. It's for 3 days and 2 nights. Okay, so you'll begin on the first day. You'll stay overnight. At the end of the first day, you'll have another day in the mountains and stay overnight again. And then you'll come back on the third day. So it has 3 days and 2 nights. It's a hiking adventure. And you'll have the chance to explore the natural beauty of Jiaming Lake. I don't think you're going to the lake only. You'll see lots of stuff between Chishang and the lake and maybe around the lake or whatever. And you can explore nature as well. You can check out the local plants and the trees and maybe some animals. Maybe you'll see a spotted leopard or something like that. I guess they're extinct, but in any case here, it will give you a chance to explore the natural beauty of this place, but it will also be a challenge, okay, for high-altitude trekking. Trekking is kind of adventure travel, okay? If you go on a trek, for example, it means you basically go in the mountains or hiking. They often have these, say, in Thailand, where you can go on a trek around Chiang Mai or someplace like that and go into the mountains and see all the hill people there and hang out and have some great experiences. So you go trekking, and this just refers to hiking in mountain areas.
I think that's where they came up with the name of the famous TV show that we had different episodes of over the years, is Star Trek. They would go on these long journeys. But as Tom said, this is the act of hiking very long distances, and you're doing it for fun. It's a recreational activity. And you're going over kind of rough terrain. It's not smooth. There's no paved road. So we've got our itinerary here below. Day 1, you're going to meet your group at 7 a.m. So you're going to have to get up bright and early to get there on time. And you depart from Chushang Station. So if you depart from somewhere, that's where you leave from. So if you go to the airport, for example, it will say departures and arrivals, plural both, and it will say where the plane is coming from and where it's going. So you're going to depart from Chushang Station, which I'm sure our listeners have heard of. I've not been there before. One day I will get there. And then at 9 a.m., you're going to begin hiking.
Right, so I think Churshan is a town on a plain there, and Taidong, the mountains are kind of a distance away from the town, so you'll have to leave Chushang Station and walk on the flat land for a while until you get to the mountains. And so at 9 o'clock, you'll begin hiking, and then eventually, after 3 hours of hiking, you will arrive at some place called the Xiangyang Hut, and you'll have lunch there. I'm not sure if you have to bring your own food or if they'll provide it for you. And at 1700 hours or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you will arrive at the shelter for dinner and an overnight stay. So there's a shelter there, a structure that provides you protection from the environments. It may be a cabin or something like that, or just an open shelter with a roof over an open area or something like that. So you will have dinner there, you'll eat some food, and then you'll stay overnight. And you'll be with other hikers, so you can sit there and exchange stories, maybe even have a campfire.
Yeah, I think this travel agency provides all the food for them. So when they go to the Xiangyang Hut, it sounds like a place that makes food. I don't know how they got to build there. That's a pretty special place if they got a permit from the government to actually construct something. So they go to the Shangyang hut, and then after they have continued hiking for a while, they arrive at their shelter, which Tom described really well. I have camped in a shelter that had 3 sides. So it had the floor, the 2 walls, and then the roof. But one side was open to the elements. But it was still better than being out in a tent, I have to confess. So they stay at the shelter, they have dinner, and then they go to sleep. Boy, they wake up really early. Maybe you have to wake up that early to make your next goal or your next target. They wake up at 5 and they have breakfast. You want to eat before you go hiking so you don't faint or have some sort of problem on the way. 6 o'clock, they're going to begin the ascent. We use this word when we're talking about going up. The plane will begin its ascent. It will, if you listen carefully, sometimes the captains in planes will talk about, we're going to begin our ascent, at such and such altitude. So they're going to ascend. Ascend is the verb. Ascent is the noun. They're going to begin to ascend to their destination of Jiaming Lake.
Right, so that's about a 3.5-hour hike from the hut to the actual lake. So at 9:30, they will arrive at Jiaming Lake, and then, my goodness, several hours later, they will return to the shelter. So I guess they're going to hang out at the lake there for a while. I'm not sure if you can go fishing or swimming or whatever, but they're going to figure out a way to spend, oh my goodness, about 6 or 7 hours there. Maybe they'll sit around and have more chatting, or maybe there are some other trails in the area that they can hike on as well. But in any case, at 5 in the afternoon, they will return to the shelter.
That's right. And then once they get back to the shelter, they're going to go on and disband. It says they're going to depart from the shelter the next day. So this really is a 3-day trip. 2 nights, 3 days. The next morning, they get up. Notice that they're never hiking in the dark. I thought that was important. It's probably a little too dangerous. You can't see much. You'll slip and slide, and who knows what kind of animals come out at night. So day 3, they get up at 7 again. They depart from the shelter. And then at approximately, that's, here or there, they're going to get there around 11 a.m., and then they disband. To disband is to break up. So pretend you have a band that you sing with in high school, but once high school is over and you graduate, you disband. Just think of it that way to remember the definition. It means to break apart, break up. They disband at the Chishang station then.
Yeah, probably most people will take a train back to Taipei or whatever, but who knows, maybe some people will take trains down south and take the Nanhui Tielu, the South Cross Island railway over to Kaohsiung or whatever. So yeah, they'll go in different directions. We could also say they'll all go their separate ways. Although, again, they probably might get together on the train and continue chatting until they get to good old Taipei. And, of course, they will have had a great vacation, a great hiking trip, and they'll probably be inspired to go hiking again. And maybe they'll try to go hiking without this kind of organized program. But I think you need to check out regulations in mountain areas if you need a permit or something like that. Don't just show up there with your camping gear and expect to go in. You might be surprised that, you can't do that. You have to apply ahead of time, several months. I think there are some areas that have waiting lists.
You might have to go with a guide. We don't know what the regulations are. So here are some important notes that the travel agency has given us. Safety first, of course. You want to always prioritize safety. To prioritize just means you put the most important things at the top of a list, and then you go down from there. So you want to make sure that you're always thinking about your safety first and foremost. Yeah, the worst thing to happen is to go on a fun vacation or to go on a recreational activity and then have someone get hurt. That just takes all the fun out of it. It's not very good. So you want to listen to your guide. Remember, they are assigned a guide who will stay with them at all times. And they say, be aware of your surroundings. Remember, you're out in nature. This is the wild. So you're going to be wanting to look out for snakes and different animals that you're in their territory. They may feel like you're interrupting their lifestyle. So be on the lookout and inform your guide immediately if you ever start to feel unwell so that they can, intervene in some way and help you.
Yep, safety is your priority. Don't do something stupid like climb up on a big rock just to get a big picture or to be macho or something like that and show off. Because
Tom, how many people have died because they were trying to get a good selfie?
Yeah, there are videos on YouTube that show the last moments of people before they fell off a cliff because they were trying to take a selfie. So indeed, safety is the most important thing. And yeah, if you get injured in the mountains, it's going to be very difficult to treat you. You may have a painful injury that you'll have to endure for several hours before they can haul you off the mountain.
Yeah.
So here's the next one. You need to have a flexible itinerary, okay? Itinerary is just the plan of all the things you're going to do one step at a time, but it needs to be flexible. You need to accept the fact that it's going to change. If you have a flexible schedule, for example, that means you can change times with your appointments and things like that because the situation will change depending on the market or the weather or whatever. You need to be flexible. You need to be easily changed.
What if a typhoon suddenly arrives or an earthquake? I mean, they want you to know that things can change. If someone's flexible, it means they just go along with the flow. They don't say, no, this is my plan, and I must do this according to what I want. So you have to be flexible and be prepared to accommodate any adjustments that might have to happen. Weather, we can't control. Trail conditions, maybe suddenly have a rock slide, just different things can happen. Or maybe you go with somebody in your group who thought they were in good shape, but suddenly they have a heart attack or something awful like that. You never know. Everybody is in a different fitness level. Some people are in really good shape, and maybe they hike every weekend. We don't know. And then maybe you've got your weekend warriors that only get to go and do some exercise when the boss doesn't demand they work every day, including Sunday. So you've got different things to accommodate. So the important notes here, the suggestion is please be prepared. Prepare yourself mentally for adjustments. What's an adjustment, Tom?
It's a small change, okay? So, for example, maybe the weather's bad, so they just can't go to the lake. You just won't be able to go this time. You'll have to do something else. So, yes, there are going to be some changes due to the weather or other factors as well. So, yeah, you need to be prepared. You need to be mentally prepared, as we say sometimes, for those adjustments. And don't be disappointed because these things do happen. And you also need to follow your guide's instructions. Don't think you're smarter than the guide, okay? You're going to cause problems that way. Just do what the guide says. Now, here's the next point. The other thing you should consider is physical fitness. Being fit in your body, participants must be in good physical health. Okay, you cannot be weak. You need to have some good muscle conditioning and things like that. And conditions like heart disease, fear of heights, or pregnancy may prevent you from participating. So you might have some health conditions like heart problems or heart disease. If you get up there at a high altitude, you might have a heart attack or something like that. And you might even die. And of course, you're going to high places, so you might have a fear of heights, which I sort of have. When I go to high places, I get kind of scared. And of course, if you're pregnant, if you're expecting a child, then that is pregnancy. The condition of pregnancy may prevent you from participating. Yes, if you have a baby growing inside you, it might not be a good idea to go hiking in the high mountains.
I think that's a bad idea. Some pregnancies include sudden fainting spells, not because someone's out of shape, but just because your body is responding to a lot of different things when you're trying to grow a human. So here's the next one, punctuality. Don't be late. Don't be rude. Please arrive at the designated meeting point on time. A lot of people will be, well, I don't know how many in particular, but other people will be depending on everyone to be punctual. Punctual is the adjective. Punctuality is the noun form of the verb. And we talk about someone being punctual. You wouldn't use punctual as a verb, though. Punctuality is important. There are some people in my family that we just know will always be at least 30 minutes late, and so we plan around that. But in cases where you're with a group that's planned an outdoor event like this, it's always best to get there early if you can. It says late arrivals may result in being unable to join the trip. They won't necessarily wait for you, and I say if you're late, I think they need to leave you behind.
That's your fault, and remember they're hiking in the mountains there, and they need to get at the shelter by 5 o'clock. If they wait too long, it will start to get dark, and therefore it will be dangerous for everybody. So that's why punctuality is so important. It's a life or death situation. Now, the final point that you need to keep in mind or to take into consideration is personal responsibility. Be responsible for yourself and don't depend too much on others. If you are unable to continue the hike due to personal reasons, you must stop, okay? Because that could affect the health and condition of the other hikers. So if you have a problem, stop hiking and get out of there. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, we are unable to issue a refund for the remaining portion of the trip. Okay, to issue just means to submit, to give you a refund, to give you your money back. Yeah, if you have some personal problem and you need to stop, don't expect a refund because you're not going to get one.
To issue, of course, just means to supply, to give, to distribute. So you're issuing something. We can say the government issues licenses, and a refund is money you get back after having paid for something. But boy, if you're the one to cause problems, you're not going to get any refund. So you better be aware of that. Right now, guys, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back for a couple of questions.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们昨天带大家到店里面去看看顾客跟店员之间他们在谈 hiking gear， 如果要登山的时候大概要有哪一些装备。那今天我们就来看一下假设我们今天要去健行的时候，大概行程会怎么样安排？如果说是公司的旅游或者是旅行社它排出来这样子的行程，它还长什么样子呢？好，我们来看今天的文章。今天要带大家去哪里呢？要挑战嘉明湖。这个嘉明湖是天使的眼泪如果能够上去看到的话，真的我觉得这个一生可以真的去一次。不过呢，这个高山健行一定要先准备好了。我们在这个 Day 1, Day 2, Day 3的这样子的一个表格上面第一段我们先看一下刚刚说的这个嘉明湖。嘉明湖这2句当中的描述其实出现了3个复合形容词比如说在第一句当中 breathtaking 字面上是带走呼吸的，其实就是令人屏息的景色 breathtaking landscapes。 那今天规划的呢是3天2夜的 hiking adventure， 3天2夜 3 day 2 night。 那我们把两个字中间都用 hyphen 连字号连接在一起，所以它是复合形容词。不过最后面注意一下第一段第2句后面有一个 while， 在这里的 while 强调就是时间了，而同时我们又可以体验一下这种高海拔的，最后面高海拔 high altitude 也抓出来，它也是复合形容词altitude altitude 就是高度的意思，就是海拔高度的意思了。好，那接着我们看到表格，当然第一天就要出发啦。那这个出发呢，我们就 leave 嘛，离开了，没有啦。出发通常如果已经写在比较正式的就会用 depart 离开。所以说什么时候用 depart， 什么时候用 leave。像 depart 真的就是比较正式不管说是这个旅行行程啦，或者是在机场当中的这个 departure 离境有没有，都会用这个 depart。好，注意一下 day 2第2天到了之后6点就要开始攀登嘉明湖了。这个攀登我们看到的是 begin the ascent to Jiaming Lake。 ascent 这个字我们要特别抓出来，它指的是上升、攀登、高度上升的意思。那如果是高度下降的那个名词叫做 descent， D-E-S-C-E-N-T。 不过光看名词还不够因为它的动词也是很常出现。慢慢的往上，高度的上升跟攀升，动词叫做 ascend， A-S-C-E-N-D。 相反的动词往下降 descend， D-E-S-C-E-N-D。 那 descend 这个字呢，词类变化还有一个特别要记的，就是我们的 offspring， 就是后代啊、子孙啊，这个字的另外词变叫做 descendant， 就是子孙或者是后代。descendant descendant 子孙后代，像这些字都算是高中英文很常用，而且这个频率出现很高的，然后在这个模拟考啦或者是阅读啊里面都很常用的。好，那么接着呢，再看最下面的这个 important notes 很重要的提示呢，就有5点啦。第一点就是安全第一，一定要把安全放在首位。我们要把什么东西优先的放在第一顺序，这个动词叫做 prioritize， 它就在第一点 safety first 这个地方，冒号后面这里 prioritize。 当然 prioritize 是动词啊，它的名词我们也更常听到，有没有？我们说这个 safety is my top priority， priority P-R-I-O-R-I-T-Y priority 就是我们优先要去考虑的事情， top priority 第一优先要考虑的事情。所以任何时候不管怎么样就要注意一下旁边的 surroundings， 如果有什么不舒服啊，就通知你的 guide。 好，第二点呢，就是一个 flexible itinerary。 其实旅行的行程不会用 schedule， 会用 itinerary， 就是行程到底要怎么走，第一天去哪，第二天怎么样啊，这叫做 itinerary。 当然因为这个天气的情况啊，或甚至每个人的体能不太一样，有时候会随时调整的，所以它是 flexible， 很弹性的。不过我们刚刚讲说那个体能的状况有没有，你到底要用什么？难道是 energy 吗？不是我们常说我要去运动I want to stay fit。Stay fit 的那个 fit 的那种身体健康状态有没有？ fitness 在第二点冒号之后，中间后面的地方 individual fitness， 这 fitness 就是有那种体能状态，那种 fitness level 体能状态的意思。好，那么接着我们来看第3点还有一个就是身体状态啦。你看这个时候还是用 fitness physical fitness，身体状态，如果你自己本身有一些心脏病啊，什么高山症、恐高症啊、怀孕啊，这些状况可能就没有办法参加了。那种健康情况通常会用 condition 出现在第3点的第2句的地方。好，因为中文讲情况就是情况，状况就状况啊，英文要用对啊，你不能随便用 situation 什么circumstance 的，那健康情况就要用 condition。接着第4点就很重要啦， punctuality 就是准时守时。如果指定哪里几点就一定要到大家不能够因为等谁又拖延咯。那我们就要补充一下比较常用的形容词叫做 punctual P-U-N-C-T-U-A-L， 所以 be on time 准时be punctual being punctual is very important，要准时这件事很重要讲口语一点就是 be on time， 就是要准时。那如果指定什么时间，指定什么地点，那个指定有没有在 punctuality 冒号之后这个动词给它抓出来？我们看到的是 PP the designated meeting point， 指定，这指定一定是有权者说了算， officially formally 指定叫做 designate。 好，那最后面一点就是一些个人的责任啦比如说个人的原因就不能够继续的话，就是没有办法退款啦。如果在那些情况之下就没有办法 refund， 就没有办法退款。我们注意最后一点的一个片语叫做 under the circumstances， 注意它基本上就是用复数，在这种情况之下，不管是一种几种就是会用复数。好，希望大家能够了解这个今天呢有关于 hiking 的一些行程。我是安娜，我们下次见
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, it's time for our discussion questions, which have to do with our article for today. The first question is, would you be interested in participating in a hike like this one? Why or why not?
For me, this isn't really my kind of outdoor activity. I don't like to camp outdoors anymore, but I don't really want to hike up that many hours on a mountain. I think my longest hike that I've done recently is 3 hours. That's kind of a nice hike, it's not too long. What about you? This sounds like something you might enjoy, Tom.
Maybe, but as I said, I've only been hiking in the mountains once. I'm from Iowa, we don't have mountains there. But in any case, I may be interested in participating in a hike like this one. At the time, I hiked with a friend. There were just the two of us. But maybe getting into a group situation would be kind of fun. You could enjoy the place with other people, and the arrangements are taken care of for you. You don't have to cook your own food.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe you don't even have to bring your own water as well, but still, somebody's got to carry it up there. But yeah, this might sound interesting to me. And yes, I love nature. I love plants and trees and birds and things like that. It could be a lot of fun.
It would be fun if you went with your family or a group of friends that you really enjoy. 3 days out in nature sounds wonderful. Here's the next question. What do you think would be the most challenging part of a 3-day hike like this one?
Well, for me, it would be my knee. Okay, I've got knee problems, and of course, I probably would not go on a hike like this. It would be very dangerous for me. I might make my knee worse when I'm hiking in the mountains, and also it would probably cause problems for the other hikers as well. So yeah, that would be a big problem there, and because of that problem, I would not participate in a hike like this unless I have surgery or something to help out my knee. How about you?
The most challenging part would just be hiking up. Hiking up, maybe hiking down too. It depends on the area. It sounds beautiful, and I'd sure like to see Jiaming Lake. So yeah, it's something to be considered, I think, but you would have to be in good shape to go.
Right. You might also need to watch out for poisonous snakes and things like that. Okay, that brings us to the end of our discussion for today, and it's the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. Please check out our content on YouTube and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you again. From all of us here on English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.